I'm assembling my FA50 back together, and I thought I would make a video showing you some of the routing of the fuel lines. It may be helpful. There gets to be a lot of fuel and oil lines. So first you have the seat, and there is this tray here that holds the battery box, and it's a cover for the oil and gas tank. Well, your battery goes in this box here, and there's actually a tube that connects. It's a drain tube. It connects in the bottom of this on the underside, and that line gets fed out right here. The back gets hooked behind the seat, and then I routed it down and around this side of the carburetor. The carburetor should have this little hook here, and then the vent just runs. You just want it down below the engine, and that's it for that. That's the vent tube for the battery tray. Okay, what's next? I got the fuel line for the carburetor, the overflow. So a drain that connects on the bottom of the carb, and I ran it down here. There's a little spot it can slip through between the crankcases. I fed it down there and then fed it down to the ground, so if the carburetor overflows, the gas won't go on any parts of the bike and should just run off onto the ground. That's how I ran that. Let's see. The stator coil's in here. The wire comes out the crankcase right here. So this is a wire for the stator. I also fed it in that hook right there, and that wire gets fed into the frame and then up into here and connects via plug-in. There is this one's kind of a weird one. There's a little vent port on the side. I'll include a picture, but it's on this side of the carburetor. And I think it's just a little vent port for equalizing the pressure inside the carb. I read online somewhere where somebody did have a drain tube on it, a tube, and then just directed it downwards. So mine isn't very long. Just goes down to about the bottom of the crankcase. That's pretty easy. Let's move to the other side. Alright, so here's the oil pump. And there is an itty bitty line that runs from the top of the oil pump. It goes over the intake and the reeds and connects right there. So this line right here, there's one line that goes from this oil tank on the bottom. It gets run down and it comes out right here. I cut it, I spliced it, I put in this filter, and then put in another piece of tubing. The fuel tank has two lines. There is a reserve and an on. And the fuel lines go from the bottom of the gas tank. They get fed through the frame and connect to the petcock. Behind here, you gotta remove these two screws, pull this off, disconnect it, or connect it. And then from the diaphragm petcock, the lines get ran to the carburetor. As you can see, this bottom line here goes right here, and the top line gets ran around, goes to the back side of the carburetor.